Significant flooding continues across much of Queensland, even as rain starts to increase along the east coast. And it is going to be a wet weekend for much of eastern Australia, with hazards increasing particularly about southeast New South Wales and parts of eastern Victoria. Let me take you through the details now, starting with a look at our flood warning areas, current at midday Eastern Standard Time on Friday. Now, we've still got a number of major flood warnings in place for Western and inland Queensland. Rain is still moving into the upper reaches of these catchments, so some locations that have already seen a flood peak may expect another peak in the coming days or a prolonged peak above the moderate or major flood level. It's worth noting that we also have a major flood warning in place for the Pioneer River near Mackay after rapid river rises in the area in the overnight period. Minor flood warnings have also been issued for parts of southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales as rain starts to develop in those areas. Looking at our flood watch areas now, we've still got flood watches in place for parts of northwestern Queensland and southern inland Queensland too. Flood watchers tell us where flooding is possibly going to develop in the coming days as rain continues to fall. It's worth noting that through the remainder of today, we may see additions to these flood watch areas, particularly through parts of eastern, southern and southeast Queensland, parts of northeast New South Wales as well, including the northern rivers. Rain is starting to increase in these areas, and we may possibly see further river rises, leading to additional flood watches and warnings over the coming days. So exactly how will things play out through the rest of today and over the weekend? Today we're going to see this inland low pressure trough continuing to direct moisture into areas of rain, showers and thunderstorms. They'll impact much of Queensland, including the southeast, but finally starting to ease back across those southwestern parts of the state. Rain and thunderstorms will also impact parts of northern New South Wales, particularly northern inland New South Wales today, with patchier showers on the way for southern New South Wales and even parts of northern Victoria. Now, the highest rainfall totals today are likely to accumulate across parts of southern inland Queensland and northern inland New South Wales. We're also likely to see some widespread moderate to locally heavy falls accumulating across parts of the central coast, pushing down towards the southeast coast of Queensland too, as onshore flow brings significant moisture into the area. Now, for those inland areas, we do still have a severe weather warning in place. It covers parts of southern inland Queensland and northern inland New South Wales. And in that warning area, we may see 6-hourly falls through the rest of today, reaching as much as 50 millimetres, possibly isolated 6-hourly falls to 75 millimetres. The Queensland part of this warning may be finalised a little bit later today as rain continues to push south into New South Wales, but we're likely to see wet weather continuing across the New South Wales side of the border as thunderstorms develop through the afternoon as well. As we move into Saturday, our low pressure trough is going to direct the moisture further towards the east coast. That means a wet day is on the way for many of our eastern population centres, including Brisbane, the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Sydney, Newcastle, Wollongong, all looking at their wettest day on Saturday. You can see the showers, rain and storms streaming down the east coast there. As we move into the later part of Saturday, we're likely to see a low pressure system starting to develop along that low pressure trough, and it's likely to bring further impacts through the later part of Saturday and into Sunday, particularly for parts of southeastern New South Wales and eastern Victoria. As we move into Sunday, we are going to see strong winds and rainfall continuing across parts of southern New South Wales and eastern Victoria. It's worth noting that those winds are likely to be strongest along the coastal fringe, but may impact adjacent inland areas as well. We could also see some windy weather impacting the eastern ranges of Victoria and the southern Alps of New South Wales. These winds may push all the way up into the Illawarra and parts of the central coast as well, but are going to have their strongest impacts for parts of the south coast. Rainfall as well is likely to continue across these areas through the course of Sunday, with widespread falls in the range of 40 to 75 millimetres possible through those areas. As we move into the later part of Sunday and push towards Monday, we're slowly going to see this coastal low pressure system moving gradually away from the east coast. It's likely that windy and wet weather will continue across southeastern parts of New South Wales and eastern Victoria through the rest of the weekend into early next week, and it won't be until late Monday into Tuesday that we start to see a more significant easing in conditions across the far southeast. It should also be noted that these strong winds are likely to generate large waves and dangerous coastal conditions across much of the southeast through the later part of this weekend into early next week. So be on the lookout for any coastal wind warnings we may need to issue, as well as any other dangerous surf or damaging surf warnings through those areas. This situation is continuing to develop, moving from the flooding risk in Queensland to a more localised risk of winds, large waves and rain through parts of the far southeast. It's imperative to stay on top of all of the changing warnings across this weekend, and you can do that via the Bureau's website, the Bomb Weather app, or via our social media.